First of all, good afternoon to all the participants, and it is really good to see you all and interacting with you after a long gap. And we will let's hope that we are able to hold a physical press conference soon. But coming to your question, specific question, you see, I have spelled it out quite in detail in my statement. The first point is that there is a window available for, for sort of checking the inflation momentum. I have said that the winter months with vegetable arrivals, with the arrival of bumper rabi crop, bumper kharif crop, and with, the sort of containment, the removal of the various containment and supply disruptions that getting eased out, and interventions from the authorities to sort of, that is the government in particular, to take action on various fronts. We have seen some action in the recent weeks. I mean, for example, the import duty on edible oil, which is one of the components where there is inflation, where inflation was visible. The import duty has been reduced, but you are aware of all the measures that have been taken. We are continuously watchful, and as I have stated, we will continue to be very watchful and take a call as we move ahead. You see, the RBI is not indifferent to any segment of the economy or financial markets. We take decision first in the best interest of the depositors. That is the paramount responsibility of the Reserve Bank of India, to protect the interest of depositors. And all our actions are within the legal framework as per law and as per regulatory guidelines. Beyond that, since both the cases are currently sub judice, I would not like to elaborate further. You see, we have made our internal assessments of the likely NPA scenario. The Supreme Court hearings are in the final stages. We will wait for the court orders, but we have made our internal estimates. And as you will be well aware, the financial stability report is due in the last week of December. And once we get the Supreme Court orders, and once we conclude our, we sort of update our assessment of the likely NPA scenario, we will spell it out in the financial stability report, which will be released in the last week of December. In the last financial stability report, we had given a scenario, but compared to that, I think one positive development is that the economy has recovered much faster than expected or anticipated at that time. So therefore, please let us wait till the financial stability report comes out, where we will be spelling out the details. It is a report by an internal working group of RBI. It should not be seen as RBI's point of view or decision. I think that has to be very clearly understood. The internal working group had two external members who are also members of the RBI Central Board. And the internal working group has acted independently. They have had their independent deliberations. They have given a certain point of view. RBI has not taken any decision on these issues so far. As I said, I think in my monetary policy statement, and also as I have said time and again earlier, our approach is consultative. The report of the internal working group is now in the public domain. We will receive comments. After getting comments from various stakeholders and others who wish to give their comments to us, we will examine the whole matter and take a considered decision. That is how it stands. Let me be very clear and emphatic. Nothing has been junked. Inflation targeting is uppermost in our agenda. There is a reference to it in the preamble of the Reserve Bank of India Act. We give it highest priority. About the priorities which you mentioned, these priorities are priorities which are included in Part B of the MPC resolution. The part B of the MPC resolution has now been uploaded in the website, and as is the practice on earlier occasions also, we have two parts to the MPC resolution. The first part is the Monetary Policy Committee deliberations and its decisions. So similarly, in the first part of the resolution, which has been uploaded today, and in the first part of my statement today, I have highlighted the issues relating to inflation, growth, concerns of MPC, how MPC looks at things, and how MPC is going to act. I have also touched upon MPC deliberations. It's only in the second part where I go for developmental and regulatory measures, which have nothing to do with the MPC's deliberations. It's in the second part. What I have done, what we have done in RBI is that the various series of announcements which we have made, I think totally they run to about 20 or 21. We have just tried to capture what is the essence of those announcements. So let me again reiterate, inflation targeting is important. RBI is, as you know, is a, what you called a, I put it as saying that it's a multi-purpose central bank. It is not just an inflation targeting central bank. Inflation targeting is very important. It's a part of RBI preamble. It is definitely of paramount importance. At the same time, the RBI has role as a banking sector, non-banking sector regulator, as the regulator of payment systems, as the, so many other multifarious responsibilities, and you know it. I don't need to elaborate. So that is how I would like to explain. You see, I have said it in my statement that our expectations on inflation, which we had over the last 2 months, obviously that has not materialized. And we have to keep in mind that we are dealing with an extraordinary situation, a once in 100 years kind of event, and the kind of impact it has produced on the economy as well as on human lives, not just in India, but across countries. It's huge. So we have to respond to this particular situation. इसी फर्स्ट पॉइंट जो मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि हम ये चाहते हैं आरबीआई में कि एनबीएफसी सेक्टर जो है वो बहुत ही रोबस्ट रहे और अपना जो काम कर रही है और इन टर्म्स ऑफ रीचिंग आउट टू द लास्ट माइल, मतलब कैसे लास्ट माइल जो कनेक्टिविटी है, शायद कभी कभी बैंक्स वहां नहीं पहुंच पाते हैं, तो एनबीएफसी वो जो गैप है वो फिलअप करता है. इसीलिए हमने को लेंडिंग भी परमिट किया हुआ है और उसमें भी काफी चेंजेस रिसेंटली हमने किया है. तो एनबीएफसी सेक्टर रोबस्ट रहे, स्ट्रॉन्ग रहे और अपना काम ठीक से करे, ये हमारा प्रायोरिटी है. और इसीलिए एनबीएफसी सेक्टर का जो गवर्नेंस मॉडल है, जो कैपिटल इश्यूज है और अदर एस्पेक्ट्स, उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग करनी चाहिए. और इसीलिए हमने कई स्टेप्स पिछले, अगर आप देखेंगे पिछले 1.5 साल से हम ले रहे हैं कि एलसीआर, पहले हमने उनके लिए लिक्विडिटी रेशियो भी प्रेस्क्राइब किया, फिर उसके बाद चीफ रिस्क ऑफिसर के रिक्वायरमेंट प्रेस्क्राइब किया, और अभी हम उनके डिविडेंड पॉलिसी को देख रहे हैं. वी आर लुकिंग एट देयर डिविडेंड पॉलिसी और उनका जो रेगुलेटरी स्ट्रक्चर है उसको भी हम रिव्यू करके एक स्केल बेस्ड रेगुलेशन करना चाहते हैं. देखिए, आज एनबीएफसी सेगमेंट में आपके एनबीएफसी है जिसका टोटल एसेट साइज इज टोटल एसेट साइज 20-25 करोड़ है, और दूसरी तरफ बहुत बड़े बड़े एनबीएफसी है जिनके की बुक साइज, एसेट साइज 50-60 हजार करोड़ या उससे भी ज्यादा है. तो उसमें हम कोई न्यूआंस्ड रेगुलेशन, स्केल बेस्ड रेगुलेशन क्या कर सकते हैं, तो इसके बारे में हम रिव्यू कर रहे हैं. और ये जो डिस्कशन पेपर है, हमने कहा है इसको, जो मैट्रिक्स है डिविडेंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए और जो गवर्नेंस मॉडल, मतलब जो हमने कहा कि स्केल बेस्ड रेगुलेशन, उसको पब्लिक में अपलोड करेंगे और इसके बाद वी विल गेट पब्लिक इनपुट्स. और यूनिलैटरल एक्शन, मैंने बार बार ये कह रहा हूं कि ये सब सेंसिटिव मामले में कोई यूनिलैटरल एक्शन हम नहीं लेते हैं. हम कंसल्ट करते हैं मार्केट को, इनपुट्स लेते हैं और फिर एक बहुत कंसिडर्ड और रिस्पॉन्सिबल डिसीजन लेते हैं. इस मामले में भी वही रहेगा. और जो 2 डॉक्यूमेंट्स अपलोड हो जाएंगे उसको आने दीजिए, फिर उसके बाद वी विल टेक ए कॉल. But our strategy, as we have time and again articulated, is to sort of prevent the volatility, the undue volatility. and see that there is an orderly evolution of the exchange rate. And you are right. The liquidity injection policies that which Reserve Bank of India has adopted since March 27th, when we made the started with the COVID response announcement, COVID responding announcements. Since March 27th, whatever liquidity RBI has injected into the market, that has achieved its purpose. That is our assessment. Whether it relates to the crisis in the mutual fund segment, which happened at one time but got controlled, or whether it is to targeted sectors through TLTRO. So all the liquidity infusion measures of RBI have achieved their objective. Now, because of global conditions, which I have spelled out in my statement today, there is a lot of inflow into the emerging economies, and particularly India. We are getting both FDI and FPI inflows. The gross FDI inflow has been about $39.9 billion, if I remember correctly. Similarly, FPI inflows also have been very successful, are also very high. We are sterilizing them at the moment through the, to the reverse repo mechanism. And we have various instruments, as I have articulated in my statement. We have various instruments at our command. And we are constantly monitoring the evolving situation, and we will deal with it at the appropriate time. You see, I have said it earlier in several other fora. Over the last 2 years, we have really strengthened and deepened our supervisory systems and our supervision mechanisms. The kind of deep dive and analysis which we are now doing, the kind of depth of our supervision which we have achieved over the last 2 years, it's something never before. And these two incidents of two banks which we had to intervene and resolve, it's not as if they happened one fine morning and we were not aware of what is happening. Our first focus is to work with the management of the bank and resolve the problem. Nudge them, goad them, request them. So our first effort is always to work with the management of the banks and resolve the problems. Only when we see a need for regulatory intervention, only when we see that regulatory intervention is required in the best interest of the depositors, we intervene. With regard to what improvements we have brought in supervision, I would request Deputy Governor M.K. Jain to very briefly just give some of the major highlights of our improvements and strengthening of supervision which we have done in the recent months. With regard to the only tool, reverse repo being only tool, just please refer back to my statement. I have said that RBI has various instruments at its command, and these instruments will be used at the appropriate time. And with regard to the first part of your question about what the finance minister has said, I was busy with the MPC meeting, so I have not heard the full, not seen the full text of a statement. But as far as my recollection goes, what I have seen in the media and in the newspapers, she has said that it will be a growth supporting budget. It will be a growth oriented budget. I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think the finance minister has used the word expansionary budget. I think she has said that it will be a growth oriented budget. Naturally, when we are recovering from a massive damage which the pandemic has wrought on the Indian economy, the budget has to be growth oriented. And also let us keep in mind that during this year also, all the all the fiscal measures which the government has announced, I think have been very well calibrated, very well targeted, and they have been very prudently drawn up. In fact, at the beginning of the pandemic, there was worry that the government fiscal deficit would just go haywire. Of course, the fiscal deficit has gone up and it had to go up. But I think the response of the government has been very calibrated, well calibrated, and prudent. So the budget next year also, I expect to be very prudent, but naturally it has to be, growth-oriented budget. I mean, that is something which is, if I can say, it's something which is bound to happen. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it has to be a growth supporting budget. Well, wait for the report to come, but at least we are not considering introduction of the WPI element. That's not under consideration of the RBI. And in any case, it has to be a part of the law. The current legislation, the current law says that it is CPI inflation. The policy rate is based on the CPI inflation. The inflation targeting is based on CPI inflation. And final call will be taken by the government and the parliament. But having said that, let me say that I don't see a situation of switching over from CPI, to the best of my understanding of the situation. And within RBI, there is no such thinking of switching over from CPI to WPI. But please wait for the detailed report to come. You see, the decisions, I mean, whether it's a monetary penalty by the monetary penalty or it's a supervisory action, I mean, that depends on case to case. And it will not be proper for me to discuss individual cases. But since both of these issues are so much in the media, let me say that in the case of the SDFC Bank, there were earlier episodes also. And SDFC Bank has an overwhelming presence in the digital payment segment, in the internet banking segment. So we want, we have some concerns and about certain deficiencies, etc. And therefore, we felt that it is required and it is necessary that, the SDFC Bank strengthens its IT systems before expanding further. So therefore, this business restriction has been imposed on them. And I'm quite sure that the SDFC Bank will comply with our, whatever we have suggested to them. I'm sure they will comply with it. And in that background, this decision was taken. And you see, we cannot put thousands or lakhs of customers who are using digital banking into any kind of difficulty for hours together. And especially when we are ourselves giving so much of emphasis on digital banking, the public confidence in digital banking has to be maintained. With regard to and I'm quite sure the SDFC Bank management will take necessary, we are quite optimistic that they will take necessary action in that direction. And that is the indication we have received. With regard to SBI, it has happened yesterday. Our teams are studying it. It's too early for me to comment on that. But at a more general level, I would like to say that there is a need for all banks and all financial entities to invest more in their IT systems and in technology. If you want to remain competitive in the coming years, technology is the key. IT robustness of your IT system is the key. So banks, NBFCs, and other financial entities need to invest more in their IT systems, need to invest more in technology and strengthen all their systems so that public confidence is maintained. And this is something I think going forward, the entire, robustness, the entire financial landscape is going to become more and more IT dependent. So there is need for more investment by all financial sector entities in these areas. So these are the remarks which we have made. We are constantly engaged. Let me also say that we are constantly engaged with the managements of various banks and NBFCs where we see deficiencies in their systems and procedures. We always try to work with them internally and nudge them and advise them to improve their systems. We will continue to do that. But certain times, in certain situations, certain actions become unavoidable and inevitable. And as the regulator and as the custodian of the digital payment segment in the country, I think the central bank also has to act. And that's precisely which we have done. Thank you. You see, the situation in the PMC Bank was completely different. As you would be aware that the PMC Bank, has called for expression of interest for possible investors who would like to invest and take over the bank. And the last date for receipt of last date for receipt of expression of interest and the information memorandum was 30th of November, and the response looks positive at this point of time. And the last date for submission of expression of interest is 15th of December. So let us see what is the response, and then after that only we can take a view on this. And the bank and its management are fully engaged with the investors who have purchased the information memorandum.
अगर आपको हमारे वीडियोस पसंद आए तो प्लीज लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें और शेयर करें।